Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavala Bhagavardhari. Gopi Janavala Bhagavardhari. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavala Bhagavardhari. Gopi Janavala Bhagavardhari. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajasanaranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Astatarshata Sri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Astatarshata Sri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Parthasarthi Lalita Vishakha Devi ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to these Samu devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to these Samu devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to these Samu devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Shmati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvanim Charni Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastors Tarne. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Praeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 4. Chapter is entitled The Characteristics of Rishabdev. Text number 19. This is a prose verse, right? Okay, just the word meanings. Okay. Saha he kadachit once atmanaha while on tour Bhagavan the Supreme Personality of Godhead Rishabha Lord Rishabha Brahmavartagataha when he reached the place known as Brahmavarta, identified by some as Burma and by others as a place near Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Brahma Rishi Pravara Sabhayam. In a meeting of first-class Brahmanas, Prajanam, while the citizens Nishamayanti Nam. We're hearing Atmajan, his sons, Avihita Atmanaha, attentive, Prashraya, of good behavior, Pranaya, of devotion, Bhara, by an abundance, Suyantritan, well controlled, Api, although, Upashikshayan, teaching, Iti, thus, Ha, certainly, Uvacha, said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Once, while touring the world, Lord Rishabhadev, the Supreme Lord, reached a place known as Brahmavarta. There was a great conference of learned brahmanas at that place, and all the king's sons attentively heard the instructions of the brahmanas there. At that assembly, within the hearing of the citizens, Rishabhadev instructed his sons, although they were already very well behaved, devoted, and qualified. He instructed them so that in the future they could rule the world very perfectly. Thus he spoke as follows. Please repeat after me. Once while touring the world, Lord Rishabhadev, the Supreme Lord, reached a place known as Brahmavarta. There was a great conference of learned brahmanas at that place, and all the king's sons attentively heard the instructions of the brahmanas there. At that assembly, within the hearing of the citizens, Rishabhadev instructed his sons, although they were already very well behaved, devoted, and qualified. He instructed them so that in the future they could rule the world very perfectly. Thus he spoke as follows. Purport. The instructions of Lord Rishabhadev to his sons are very valuable if one wants to live peacefully within this world, which is full of miseries. In the next chapter, Lord Rishabhadev gives his sons these valuable instructions. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 4th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Characteristics of Rishabhadev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'll try to read the verse. May koshish karunga. Sakada chid atmano bhagavan rishabho brahmar vartagato brahmarshi pravara sabhayam prajanam nishamayantinam atmajan avahitatmanaha prashraya pranaya bhara suyar tritan api upashikshayan iti hovacha. Om Jnanatamandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Dena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it is my great honor and my great pleasure to be here this morning, here in ISKCON, New Delhi, Shri Shri Radha Parthasarthi Mandir. And before I begin to speak, I seek the Asirwad, blessings of His Grace Chitamitra Prabhu and all the assembled devotees here today. Kripaya aap sab Asirwad dijiye. So, कृपया माफ कीजिए, मेरा हिंदी बहुत खराब हूँ, तो मैं अंग्रेजी बात करूँगा. Okay? Is a Hindi translation in the back. Okay, very good. I'll try to speak slowly so the translation can go on nicely. If I go too fast, tell me slow down, okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna. And special gratitude to His Grace Mohan Rupa Prabhu, my old friend, and seeking your blessings as well. Hare Krishna, thank you. I am on the mic. They turned it down. Okay. So, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 4, chapters entitled The Characteristics of Rishabdev. And this is a very exciting part of Srimad Bhagavatam, because Lord Rishabdev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's about to give wonderful instructions on Krishna consciousness. So Sri Rishabh Uvacha is like Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So we're all excited to hear the instructions of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We're here at Sri Sri Radha Parthasarthi Mandir, and this is the glorification of Krishna as Parthasarthi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. And in that situation, Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, which is the king of knowledge. Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Prajaksavagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartam Avyayam. This is Rajavidya, the king of knowledge. So we're very excited when we hear Bhagavan Uvacha. And now we're going to hear Sri Rishabh Uvacha. He's going to speak to his sons. And his sons will become the kings, the rulers of the planet. So these instructions are very, very important. And they're very powerful. And not just for Kshatriyas. These are for all the members of the Varna Ashram system. Chatur Varnyamayashristam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha Tasya Kartram Apimam Vidya Kartram Avyayam. And Krishna said, I created Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, Brahmacharis, Grahastas, Vanaprastas, Sannyasis. And these instructions of Rishabh that we're just about to receive are for everyone. Especially the brahmacharis can benefit a lot by these instructions. I remember in 2006 in Pune, there was the National Youth Festival. Were you there? Yes. Great luminaries from all of ISKCON, like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and many, many sannyasis, His Holiness Navyogendra Maharaj, from all over the world. Sannyasis were instructing the top college students, the top youth from all over India, about 3,000, I think, 5,000. 5,000 students came to Pune for one weekend, 3 days, National Youth Festival. And every day there was a Bhagavatam class, different speakers, and the topic that was chosen was the teachings of Rishabdev. This section that we're just about to embark on, very, very powerful, essential instructions in Krishna consciousness. And I would humbly appeal to the devotees here that if you want to study in depth one section of Srimad Bhagavatam, this is a very good choice. Especially the first verse. Very, very powerful. So, I was looking at Prabhupada's lectures on this first verse of the 5th chapter, Lord Rishabdev's teachings, yesterday. And I was listening for Prabhupada's lectures on this verse. And on just this one verse, there were 12 lectures that Srila Prabhupada had given in different parts of the world. And one of them was Delhi. In 1975, Srila Prabhupada spoke Canto 5, Chapter 5, first verse. Also in Bombay, and also in Mayapur, also in London, also in Stockholm, Sweden, many places Prabhupada is speaking on this first verse. So I am going to give you a little preview of tomorrow's verse because it's so important. Prabhupada spoke it 12 times. So if I speak it today and someone else speaks it tomorrow, there's no harm. Okay? You can go unlimited in depth on this verse. So this first verse goes, Shri Rishabh Uvacha Nayam Deho Deha Brajam Nirloke Kastan Kaman Arhati Vid Bujam Ye Tapo Divyam Putraka Yena Satvam Shudyad Yasmad Brahma Sokyam Twanantam. Shri Vishabha Uvacha Nayam Deho Deha Brajam Nriloke. That for one who has a human form of life, this human form of life is very, very valuable. Nayam Deho Deha Brajam Nriloke. If one has nra, a human form, one should utilize it for pursuance of Krishna consciousness. This human form of life is very, very valuable and much more valuable than the lives of the cats, the dogs, the animals. Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Parthasarthi ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji ki jai. Nayam Deho Deha Brajam Nriloke Kastan Kam An Arhati Vid Bujam Ye. It's much more valuable than the animal species. Vid Bujam Ye. Vid means stool. So it's much more valuable than the lives of those animals that eat stool, like the dogs and the hogs. This is a very, very essential key principle of Krishna conscious philosophy. I remember when I first started visiting the Hare Krishna temple in Boston when I was a college student, the devotees would preach to me that I was not this body. But I could not understand their point. I said, what are you talking about? I'm sitting right here. Look at this. What is this? This is me. But I could not grasp it. But a few years later, I received a magazine from some devotees. And this magazine had a lecture from Srila Prabhupada. And in this lecture, Prabhupada makes the point that we've all heard hundreds of times, that animals do 4 things. They eat, they sleep, they mate, and they defend. But a human being can do one additional thing. Atato Brahma Jigyasya. He can inquire into the absolute truth. Who am I? Who is God? What is my relationship with God? Why do I have to die? What happens when I die? And how can I go back to the spiritual world? So these principles are stemming also, they're reflected in these teachings of Lord Rishabdev. Nayam Deho Deha Brajam Nriloke Kastan Kaman Arhati Vid Bujanye. That one has a human form and one should utilize it beyond just the activities of the animals. Otherwise, if we just use it for animal activities, at the end of this life, Dehino Smidhyatade He Komaram Yovanam Jara Tatade Hantaras Praptir Diras Tatranamuyati. At the end of this life, we'll get another body, but will we get a human body? No. If we use it for only animal activities, then why get another human form of life? Get an animal species of life. There was a young man. He was going to college. His father gifted him a laptop computer. And his father said, use it nicely at college. You can make websites, you can do spreadsheets, you can do word processing. So the boy took the laptop to college. And while he was at college, every day he would go to the mess and he would spend some money on lunch, maybe some rice, dal, chapati, rasgullas, gulab jamins, whatever he would purchase. And whatever the cost was, he would type it on his laptop. And at the end of the semester, his father came and he said, "My dear son, show me, what did you do with this laptop?" And the boy said, "Look, I kept track of my lunch expenditures." And he showed him the amount that he spent. And the father was disappointed. "That's all you use this for?" And the son said, "Yes, but so expertly I've come to the totals." So then the laptop broke. And the boy said, "My dear father, please give me a new laptop." The father said, "Yes, I'm coming." So the father came and he gave the boy a calculator. Because with a calculator, you can add up the sums of all your expenditures. The boy did not need a laptop just to do that small job. The calculator was sufficient. So if we only need to do those activities of vidbujamye, of the animals, then why we need this human form of life? We can make do with birth in the animal species. So if one has a human form of life, one should utilize it beyond just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So how should the human form of life be used? Lord Rishabdev continues. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. One should utilize his human form of life for tapo divyam, transcendental austerities. Srila Prabhupada, in the lecture I was listening to yesterday in Delhi, 1975, when he was speaking on this verse, Srila Prabhupada explained that tapo divyam refers to those activities that you may not like to do, but they're beneficial for Krishna consciousness. Just like waking up early in the morning. Some of us may not be inclined to wake up early in the morning, but it's very beneficial to wake up early, take a bath, and come to Sri Sri Radha Parthasarthi Mandir for Mangalartik. So this is tapo divyam. In the verse, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 14, Matasparshas tu konteya, shitoshna shukadugada, agama payano nityas, tam statikshasva bharata. Prabhupada writes in the purport that one may not like to take his bath during the winter months in the morning. It's too cold. Although by the mercy of the management here, I'm confident that we have geysers, right? That is very good. But still, it's austere to take bath in the cold season. But this is tapo divyam. And of course, the greatest austerity in Kali Yuga is to follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord that we should be engaged in the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. Kolo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. That in this age of Kali Yuga, we should chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. So tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. This is the transcendental austerity. Also, Srila Prabhupada asked us to perform the austerity of following 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no fish, no meat, no eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Yehi samsparsha jaboga dukayonaiva evate yadantavanta kanteya nateshu ramate buddha. Lord Krishna explains in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 22, Yehi samsparsha jaboga dukkha yoneva evate. One should avoid sense gratification because dukkha yoneva evate, because it is the source of dukkha, the source of misery. Yehi samsparsha jaboga dukkha yoneva evate yadantavanta konte na teshu ramate buddha. An intelligent person will not take part, will not participate in the sources of misery. Just like, say, if we want to collect some honey from the beehive. So, someone who knows how to do it, they use some smoke or something to make the bees go away so it's not dangerous. But say you have some friend, he does not know the technique, so it's very dangerous. Will you participate with him? He says, come with me, I have a stick. We'll hit the beehive. They'll run away. We'll collect the honey. But you know that if he hits the stick against the beehive, all the bees will attack and there'll be great misery. Will you participate in such an activity? No, because you know it's the source of misery. The same way Krishna is telling us that sense gratification is a source of misery. And if we engage in sense gratification, later we'll just become miserable. During college days, I had some friends, they were just woman hunters. They were engaging in illicit sex. And they contracted venereal diseases that were so painful. It was just, they were telling me that excruciating pain. They contracted a disease that they had to have their bodies sprayed with liquid nitrogen to freeze the disease off their body. So it's like putting fire to the body. And you can imagine which part of the body was being subjected to this. But still, they were engaging in these activities because of sense gratification. But yehi samsparsha jaboga dukkha neva evache. Ananta konteya na teshu ramate buddha. A Buddha, an intelligent person, will not engage in these activities. Prahlad Maharaj, in the 7th canto, he gives instructions on the same theme. He says, Komram acharat pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha durlabam manusyan janma tadyapya dhruvam artadam. He says that manusyanam, he says one who has a human form of life, they should komaram acharat pragyo. They should utilize it even from the small age of childhood. Komram acharat pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha, in order to execute Bhagavat Dharma, devotional service. Bhagavat Dharma, and then Tadyapya Dhruvam Artadham. This human form of life is temporary, but it has value because we can use it in the service of the Lord. We can use it in tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam, in transcendental austerity. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shudyad yasmat brahma sokyam tvanantam. And if we do this transcendental austerity, then the result is we get Brahma Sokyam, Anantam, everlasting happiness. Who could ask for anything better than that? Who here wants to be happy? Everyone. Who here wants everlasting happiness, eternal happiness? Everyone. And it's only available in this way. Nayam deho deha brajam nriloke kastan kaman arhati vit pujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shudyat yasmad brahma sokyam tvanantam. So in conclusion, Lord Rishabhdev is giving these essential instructions to his sons who will be the future leaders of this world. And Srila Prabhupada has given these instructions to us. And we can also participate. We may also influence the leaders of this world. We are here in New Delhi, the political capital of India, very influential. And we have leaders like Modi who are traveling all over the world, influencing political leaders all over the world. And we have devotees traveling all over the world. So just as these instructions were given to King Rishabh's sons, these instructions should become embedded in our heart. And we should distribute these instructions to others. Bharata bhumate hoy manusya janmajar janmasatakakari para upakar. That one who is born in India should make their life successful by becoming Krishna conscious, and then help others make their lives Krishna conscious. So Srila Prabhupada has given us these wonderful programs. Harinam Sankirtan, World Holy Name Festival, Vishva Harinam Saptaha is coming up September 17th through September 24th. September 17th is the day that Srila Prabhupada arrived in America. So we are celebrating this every year starting on September 17th. And Srila Prabhupada gave us his wonderful books and encouraged us in transcendental book distribution. And I am so much honored to be here in ISKCON New Delhi, because ISKCON New Delhi is leading the world in the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. And I aspire to be a servant at all of your lotus feet so that I may somehow assist in this great endeavor. And Srila Prabhupada has also given us this wonderful program of prasadam distribution. So Pritivatayachayata Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam. That Lord Chaitanya has instructed us to spread this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. And Lord Rishabhdev is giving us these wonderful instructions today in the art of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. In a short, you gave a wonderful class and so much of instructions. Please bless so that we can imbibe and follow. Prabhuji, like my question is that, like Prabhupada, Rishabhdev has clearly said, if we do this tapasya, tapo divyam, the transcendental tapasya, then we can get the Brahma Saukyam, Brahma Sukh. Until unless if we don't get that Brahma Sukh, and it is very difficult in this material world because it is pulling us very badly. So we give lecture, we have seen in the histories also, generally this tendency to give up is very strong. Even though we know that by this path is clear, by doing this we will get it. But in the path, because of the bad samskaras and the activities we have done, it is very painful to remove, to put a medicine on the wound. It is actually painful, but we have to tolerate for some time. But that tolerance power is not there. So because of that, we give it up. So I want to ask you that how can we give up that nature of giving up and hold on the principle and hold on the instruction and follow sincerely, strictly?
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu, for your nice question. Let me see if I understand your question correctly. You're asking how we can be determined and not give up this path despite so many distractions. So, yes. Utsaha nischayat daryat tat tat karma pravartanat sanga tyagat satovrate sadbhir bhaktir prasidati. So these instructions from Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita, by Srila Rupa Goswami are very helpful and very instructive. We should try to cultivate these qualities in our lives. Utsaha nischayat dharyat. Enthusiasm, determination, and patience. These are so important. Enthusiasm, we should act enthusiastic even when we don't feel enthusiastic. And then we will become more enthusiastic. Utsaha nischayat dharyat. We should be very determined. We should have a drita vrata, because only by determination are we going to maintain on the path. Devi yesha gunamayi mama maya dharatya mam eva ye prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, mama maya dharatya. This maya is very strong. Maya can take us and pull us at every moment. Therefore we should be holding on very, very strongly to Krishna consciousness. But we also require the association of devotees that will help us. Because the association of devotees is like a mother cat that will take care of us. There's an example, the mother monkey and the mother cat. So the mother monkey is carrying around her baby monkey. The baby monkey is just holding on. And sometimes the mother jumps and the baby falls. But the mother cat is holding the kitten in her mouth, and the mother cat will never let go of the baby kitten. So we can try to hold on, but we need the association of devotees to be surrounded by loving devotees who will take care of us like that mother cat holding on to the kitten. So the association of devotees is so much important in maintaining our Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada says that one who thinks that he can be Krishna conscious alone without the association of devotees is only experiencing a hallucination. The word hallucination means when you have a very high fever and you start seeing things that are not there. Right? You're just dreaming. So one who thinks he can be Krishna conscious without the association is dreaming. So we can try to hold on, we can try to be determined, we can try to get a higher taste. Vishayan vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drisvanavartate. We can try to get a higher taste in Krishna consciousness, attraction for Krishna. Krishna can attract us, but that is when we're advanced. But when we're neophyte, like now, just neophyte devotees, kanista, we need the association of devotees to maintain our enthusiasm and determination in Krishna consciousness. Does that answer your question? Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhu. Can you give him the microphone?
Prabhu, my question is that you've had keen interest in music since your childhood, and then you came to Krishna consciousness, but it sometimes so happens that devotees, they have some interests before, but when they come, they find it difficult to continue their interest in Krishna consciousness. And that sometimes causes hindrance in their progress in Krishna consciousness. They want to be devotees, but then they think of going out, being more free to do what they like. So I want to know, in your opinion, how should the things be balanced? Because sometimes the interests could be such that it may not be possible to accommodate that within Krishna consciousness. So how should it be balanced in a way that he continues, and should the devotee give up the interest temporarily and think that if Krishna desires, then I may get to do that in future? Or he should then pursue the interest, moving out of the ashram?
So thank you for your question. Let me see if I understand your question correctly. You're saying that sometimes devotees have interests that do not seem compatible with Krishna consciousness. So how should one strategically approach that so that one can move forward in their Krishna consciousness? Can the interest be accommodated or not be accommodated? What should be the strategy? Is that your question?
Yeah. Should it depend on Krishna, that if Krishna desires and if he actually wants me to pursue this interest, then he will arrange for it? I should forget it and just focus on the core principles? Or there should be some accommodation he should continue with that and maybe slacken his Krishna consciousness.
Can you give me a specific example?
Like I know a devotee who is very interested in painting. So he was in a temple somewhere, and then there was not much opportunity for him to do that. And now he's feeling disinterested, and he feels he should change the ashram, and he should continue following all the principles, and then he'll have more freedom to get into his interest of painting and such things.
Okay. So, ideally, Prabhupada used this term dovetailing. Dovetailing is like when you take a piece of wood and you cut like this, and another piece of wood and goes inside, so it connects. So ideally, we should connect our interests with Lord Krishna's seva. That we should somehow be engaged in Krishna's consciousness with our interests, our abilities. See the connection with Krishna. Rupa Goswami gives a principle. Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjataha nirbandha Krishna sambande yuktam vairagyam uchate. He gives this principle of yukta vairagya, of utilizing our interests, but in a detached way in the service to Krishna. So as brahmacharis, we should be detached, and we should be willing to do whatever service our authorities ask us to do. Whether it's cleaning, or book distribution, or pujari seva, or harinam, or prachar, or whatever it is. Sometimes our authorities may like to engage us in our interests. I know one brahmachari, excellent brahmachari in Mumbai, Srila Haridas Thakur Prabhu. And he's painted beautiful paintings of Radha and Krishna Leela, similar to the ones that we see here. And the temples are decorated with those paintings, beautiful paintings of Radha and Krishna. So perhaps this devotee could be engaged like that. But perhaps he likes painting modern art, all kinds of esoteric, representative stuff, that is not suitable for temple activities. So then he has to consider, am I interested in surrendering to Krishna, or do I want to do what I want? But when we say, I want, that means sense gratification. And ultimately, it will lead to frustration without Krishna consciousness. Yehi samsparsha jabhava dukkha yonaiva evate. So if he can be convinced of the philosophy and put his Krishna consciousness first and put his interest a little bit on the back burner, this expression back burner, you have a stove, you have 2 burners in the front, you have 2 burners in the back, the gas. So we say, put it on the back burner, put it side mein, bad mein, like that. And then ultimately, if he's sincere, Krishna will fulfill his desires. I can just share a short story from my own experience, because I had a lot of interest as a musician before coming to Krishna consciousness. I went to the Berklee College of Music in Boston, which is one of the most prestigious music schools in the world, especially for modern music. So I had a desire, and I studied recording engineering. I was producing. So I had a desire to record in the top New York studio called the Power Station. And I had a desire to work with one of the top producers in the world. His name was Nile Rodgers. He produced all kinds of famous music groups. So I graduated from college, I joined the Hare Krishnas, I became a brahmachari, and I was in New York distributing books. I was a book distributor. This was, I think, 1993. So New York Temple gets a call from the B-52s, which were a very famous music rock group at that time. They said, we want some Hare Krishna devotees to come and record with us. Can you send them? So the temple president said, yes. And he called me and some others, and he said, you have to go to this studio and record with this famous music group. And I said, okay, what's the name of the studio? And they said, the power station. So we went to the power station and we were playing cartels and mridanga and everything along with this rock group, the B-52s. And then we went inside the control room. And who was there beside the recording console but my favorite producer, Nile Rodgers. So I got to record in the power station with Nile Rodgers. And then after the recording was finished, I saw one young man, he was wrapping up the wires, the mic wires, after the recording. And I got to speak with him. And he said, I said, I graduated from Berklee College of Music, class of '87. And he said, I also graduated from Berklee College of Music, class of '87. So we're in the same class. We're classmates. But it was a big class, and he didn't remember me. I looked totally different, you know. I didn't remember him. And he said, what are you doing? I said, I just walked across Holland, Belgium, France, and Spain doing padayatra. Every day chanting Hare Krishna 12 hours a day, distributing books, distributing prasadam, having wonderful experience, sleeping in an army tent under the stars in a different place every night. It was wonderful. Then I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm here in this studio tying up these wires. I never see the light of day. I'm just awake all night and sleep all during the day. I haven't seen the sun for 3 months. I was saying, thank you, Krishna. So eventually, Lord Krishna may purify our desires and give us an opportunity to use them in His service. Does that answer your question? Thank you very much. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. I think we can end here unless Jita Mitra Prabhu, you can add some purports. You can give some final synopsis.
Should I speak Hindi? Somebody can translate into English to you.
Can you translate someone?
तो इस श्लोक में जो है जो अध्याय है ये समाप्त हो गया है. अध्याय की समाप्ति में कुछ पुष्पिका है जिसमें हमारे प्रभुपाद की पुस्तक में नहीं है. इति श्रीमद् भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्याम संहितायाम पंचम स्कंधे चतुर्थोध्याय. तो अंग्रेजी में तो है, प्रभुपाद ने दिया, अंग्रेज संस्कृत में नहीं है. तो अध्याय, प्रत्येक अध्याय के अंत में ये शब्द आते हैं, श्री इति श्रीमद् भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्याम संहितायाम. फिर पंचम स्कंध है तो पंचम स्कंधे, हर अध्याय में पंचम स्कंधे. फिर चौथा अध्याय चतुर्थोध्याय. तो इस प्रकार से अध्याय समाप्त होता है. इसमें बताया गया है कि महापुराण, श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण है और परमहंसों की संहिता है. तो परमहंस का मतलब क्या है? जो सन्यासियों की 4 अवस्थाएं होती हैं उनमें सबसे ऊंची अवस्था परमहंस, कुटीचक, बहुदक और परिव्राजक परमहंस. तो परमहंसों की संहिता है. श्रीमद् भागवत एक ऐसी वस्तु है जिसमें परमहंस लोग आनंद प्राप्त करते हैं. वो हमें प्रभुपाद ने दिया है कि रोज हम इस श्रीमद् भागवत को सुना करें. अब इसमें बताया गया है कि ब्रह्मावर्त में ऋषभ देव जो है पहुंचे हैं. तो ब्रह्मावर्त एक ऐसा स्थान है जहाँ पर ब्रह्मा जी आते हैं. आवर्त का मतलब है आना. तो ब्रह्मा जी आते हैं. ब्रह्मा जी आते हैं किस लिए आते हैं? प्रवचन देने के लिए. तो ये ब्रह्मावर्त एक ऐसा स्थान है जहाँ ब्रह्मा जी आते हैं प्रवचन देने के लिए. तो उस ब्रह्मावर्त स्थान में कौन कौन लोग हैं? ब्रह्मर्षि प्रवर सभायाम. ब्रह्मर्षि प्रवर, ब्रह्मर्षि का मतलब है ब्रह्मा जी के लोक में रहने वाले जो ऋषि हैं वो ब्रह्मर्षि कहलाते हैं. तो ब्रह्मलोक के जो ऋषि हैं उनमें भी प्रवर, प्रवर का मतलब है उनमें भी जो बेस्ट, सबसे अच्छे जो ब्रह्मर्षि हैं उनकी सभा है. उनकी सभा लगी है और उसमें प्रजानाम, प्रजानाम माने पूरे भारत की प्रजा. आप सोचिए पूरे भारत की प्रजा इकट्ठी हो, कितनी बड़ी प्रजा, कितनी बड़ी संख्या होगी. निशामयंतीम, ये सब सुन रहे हैं, भारत की पूरी प्रजा सुन रही है. और आत्मजा नाम और ऋषभ देव के जो पुत्र हैं वो वहाँ पर हैं, वहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं. भगवान ऋषभ देव वहाँ पर आए हैं और जब ऋषभ देव आए हैं तो जितने ब्रह्मर्षि लोग हैं उन्होंने अपने प्रवचनों को बंद करके ऋषभ देव को दे दिया माइक। माइक तो है ही नहीं, बिना माइक के ही हैं उनको जो है बोलने का अवसर दिया। तो वो स्थान ऐसा है कि बिना माइक के ही आवाज़ बहुत दूर जाती है। तो बहुत से स्थान ऐसे हैं जहाँ की माइक की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, पहले माइक था ही नहीं, तो बिना माइक के ही आवाज़ बहुत दूर जाती है। जैसे हम इलाहाबाद इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में पढ़ते थे तो वहाँ जो गंगा जी हैं, तो गंगा जी के तट पर आवाज़ कुछ थोड़ी सी आवाज़ बोलते तो बहुत दूर जाती है, आवाज़ बहुत दूर जाती है। तो ऐसे स्थान भी हैं बिना माइक के आवाज़ बहुत दूर जाती है। तो वो कुछ ऐसे स्थान हैं जहाँ बिना माइक के बोलते हैं और कितनी बड़ी संख्या में भारत की प्रजा, आप सोचिए भारत की प्रजा, दिल्ली की प्रजा नहीं, भारत की प्रजा वहाँ पर इकट्ठी है और ऋषभ देव जी बोल रहे हैं। फिर यहाँ बताया कि उपशिक्षण, उपशिक्षण का मतलब अपने पुत्रों को विशेष रूप से वो शिक्षा देना चाहते हैं और सब प्रजा के सामने है। तो ये जो ऋषभ देव की शिक्षा है ये प्रजा के लिए भी है, उनके पुत्रों के लिए भी है। और प्रभुपाद कहते हैं कि उनके जो पुत्र हैं वो शासन करेंगे। तो शासन करने के लिए कोई अलग से कॉलेज नहीं है, कोई ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज नहीं है कि भाई शासन कैसे करेंगे। जो पिता हैं, राजा हैं, अपने पुत्रों को ही ट्रेनिंग देते हैं। तो ये जो ऋषभ देव की शिक्षाएं हैं तो ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। मतलब जो शासन करने वाले राजा हैं उनके लिए भी महत्वपूर्ण है और प्रजा के लिए भी महत्वपूर्ण है, सबके लिए महत्वपूर्ण है। तो जैसे एकलव्य प्रभु बता रहे हैं कि प्रभुपाद ने इन शिक्षाओं को बहुत महत्व दिया और एक श्लोक पर 12 प्रवचन दिए। तो हमें समझना चाहिए कि ये जो शिक्षाएं हैं ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हैं। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, good Mitra Prabhu. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Tagore Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.